The following Zoom conversations were all filmed before September 16th, 2021.
Looking at the charts and what they say, analyzing society. Looking at the charts, what do they say? We out here analyzing society. The charts and your report. It's going down, look at the score. The charts and your report. It's going down, looking at the score. Yo, sometimes you can be looking at the Chart Changer report and not even realizing that you're looking at a documentary.
Fair warning. 666. It's Drake's game.
Cause y'all know I'm trying not to go to my default. Y'all know me. It's like my trigger finger be on OVO.
Welcome to the Chart Tangent Report, a virtual video game and world where music journalists and industry influencers debate and award the best artists of the mainstream charts. In the span of 6 months, and a summer season consisting of 4 more, the panelists discuss the six god who sometimes treats music and his dominant stats like a game. Live from the bedrooms, living rooms, and Airbnbs from New York City, Florida, Baltimore, and New Jersey, we're celebrating the best from Black music artists of summer 2K21 at the first annual Braaivleis Awards. Now here is your host, Deshawn.
Welcome to the award show. This award show is dedicated to summer 2K21, so I have considered May through basically the middle of September for nominations. We're calling this award show the Braaivleis Summer 2K21. Braaivleis is a term for cookout in South Africa. We just needed a fancy name. I also decided to name it after South Africa because one of the artists that I had on the roster, Meek Mill, won that Nelson Mandela Award. Sorry. So the winners will receive this tray, which if you've watched Wimbledon, remember when Venus and Serena would win and they had to hold up the rosewater dish? This tray is going to go to the winners of each category. I have 5 main categories that we will be debating. There are a lot of people nominated per category, but here's the deal. I am introducing the Get Out the Way, Yeah. Get out the way from J-Rock's Win. Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way. So this is how the Get Out the Way works. I'm going to reveal the nominees. We're going to debate. At any given point, if you feel like a nominee is not at all deserving to be there, you can privately message me, get out the way, this artist. If I get 2 of those, I stop the whole debate. I eliminate them automatically from the category. So we're like speeding it up. That's one thing. There are also the lightning rounds that we will have. So the whole night we're going to be discussing different categories or whatever, but I have these special categories that are our set in stone categories for the Chart Tangent Report. We have Pacemaker of Summer 2K21. The pacemaker of Summer 2K21 is the person that you feel has been setting the tone all 2021 with constant releases, constantly appearing on people's songs, all that type of stuff, setting the pace for their peers and their contemporaries and legends. Trending headliner of Summer 2K21. Trending headliner of Summer 2K21 is the person whose social media and the press continue to discuss because of their music, their antics, blah, blah, blah. Sorry for the snub, Summer 2K21. That is the person who was not nominated at all tonight, or someone that you think should have been nominated but just wasn't included. And then we have song and record of Summer 2K21. Here's the distinction. The song goes to a song that everybody pretty much likes. So it does not matter how we feel as critics. It is a ubiquitous song that everyone likes, that everyone was rocking with this summer, yes. But record, on the opposite hand, is taking into consideration the musicality, how we feel as critics. It is a record versus a song, like, yeah. And then album of Summer 2K21. At the end of the categories, I'm going to ask y'all for suggestions, and then I will consider your suggestions and I will nominate 3 per category. I also have a throwback milestone award that I'm giving out. I also have to correct something that happened at the 2020 Chart Tease Awards based on song and record of the year. And I'm inducting a song into the Underrated Classics Hall of Fame. Yes, there's a lot happening tonight. And then we are going to do the top 7 ranking of the best artists of Summer 2K21.
Now, here are the top 5 highlights of the draft and trade sequence. Number 2. The host pre-assigns 4 artists to the 4 panelists.
I have pre-assignments. I give out pre-assignments for every episode now. But the pre-assignments is because low-key, as the host and the producer of this show, I am keeping score for you guys as if you are a record label. Because at the end of every year, they're like, Universal Music Group had 5 artists that placed at number 1 on the charts, and they have the most revenue, blah, 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 like all of that stuff. So for the Chart Tangent Report, because it is a mini virtual world, I am keeping score of which record label executive boss has won the most awards, has charted their artist the highest. And now it's gotten to a point where sometimes you will not be able to be at every filming, so I give royalty points. So in the next episode that I'm taping, if you're not here, but you're permanently assigned artist charts or wins an award, you receive royalty points on the 7-Eleven point system. Because 7 twice. So, like, for instance, Kyle could not make it tonight, but Megan Thee Stallion is nominated. And if Megan Thee Stallion makes it through and she wins an award, he will get those royalty points for Megan Thee Stallion. All right, so here are the pre-assignments. Kia, your trigger finger be on what all the time?
Because y'all know I'm trying not to go to my default. Y'all know me. It's like my trigger finger be on OVO.
OVO, right? So you have been pre-assigned Drake.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Best hip hop collaboration of summer 2K21. And I think it's pretty self-explanatory what hip hop collaboration is. This is the best part. Okay. Best hip hop collaboration of summer 2K21. Seeing Green by Nicki Minaj featuring Lil Wayne and Drake. Type Shit by Migos featuring Cardi B. Sorry Not Sorry by DJ Khaled featuring Nas, Jay-Z, James Fantleroy, and Beyonce. That's My Dog by DMX featuring The Lox and Swiss Beats. My Life by J. Cole featuring 21 Savage and Morray. And Range Brothers by Baby King and Kendrick Lamar. I'm gonna put the nominees in the chat now. Is there any song that anyone would like to argue in favor for?
Seeing Green.
Seeing Green, okay.
I will be bold enough to go up for it. And I'll explain why when I have to argue for it.
I'm going with Range Brothers.
Good morning.
Wait. Kia said, get the whole chat out the way.
I'm not mad at that, Kia. I'm not mad at that. For real, I have your back.
I'm actually, okay, let me vouch for my reason for getting the whole thing out the way. I think that list is truly inaccurate as to what's truly moving the streets and what's truly moving hip hop right now. I understand why those songs were chosen. I understand I can see why, but I think if we're talking about a true hip hop collaboration that actually meant something, whether it was, you shouldn't have been in the club, but I can't say that because I've been in the clubs. So like whether it's been in the clubs or just out in the streets, like what you hear in cars was really moving people. I just personally think that whole list doesn't really capture what has been the summer of 2021. But if I had to choose a song, I would go with Cardi B and the Migos. But I feel like the list as a whole is just like very underwhelming.
I do want to say people are nominated in all these other categories, but I get what you're saying. I truly get what you're saying. I do.
So I feel like the industry as a whole is underwhelming right now. So
she is not lying. She is not like, I'm telling you, she's not lying.
Not
but I'm kind of curious, Kia, are there two collabs that you have on top of your head that isn't on the list? I'm actually curious to hear what they are. Sorry for derailing. I want to
hear that too.
You know the crazy thing? This summer kind of reminded me of 2016 summer in a sense, sonically, because I know the biggest songs that I've heard of the summer is of course Essence, period, across the board. Wasting Time has been a huge, that's like the real sneaky link song. ESTG has been owning hip hop this year and specifically this summer. It's him, Lil Baby, 42 Doug. They've really been owning hip hop in like a massive way. Like 4200 Degrees. Oh, that song goes off. Like maybe it's just a region, maybe it might be a regional thing. I'm not really sure. But I know like ESTG is really moving the streets out here as far as like what he's doing in hip hop. I really enjoy that. I'm trying to think of another one because it's really been like R&B songs have been really dominating. Can I pull up? Because I know I can actually like pull up.
See, the thing for me is I've been inside, so I don't know what's
Yes. But you do have to remember
Yeah.
we do have other songs nominated in other categories because I try to
Right.
spread the love as much as possible. So I kind of was like, which is Best Street Anthem of February's Now. And the nominees are Back in Blood by my dog Pooh Shiesty and Lil Durk. Once in Needs Now. This is a Drake song, but I have decided to nominate Lil Baby. Lemon Pepper Freestyle, again a Drake song, but I have nominated Rick Ross. Beatbox by Spot 'em Got 'em. And Megan Thee Stallion's Southside Forever Freestyle.
I'm about to sound so old. Is Beatbox that song that everybody doing
That Mulatto just did the remix too.
and everyone was doing the little that's the June bug.
Yeah,
jump.
that's the June bug.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
I don't know how to do the June bug yet. Yes. Money got him. Yeah, that's Beatbox. Does anyone want to start? First off, I just want to ask, and we were supposed to have another panelist tonight, but she couldn't make it, unfortunately. That would have really went in on this conversation. It was Kia for Scary Hours 2 with Drake. Pacemaker of the Year. The Pacemaker of the Year category is I define it as the following. Unsung heroes who made waves throughout the year that reshifted certain narratives. So like they had key moments that were just paced through the year and then the industry kind of followed after it a little bit. The nominees are Nas for Jawan, Big Sean for Denisha, Juice WRLD for Kyle, Drake for Kia, and Ty Dolla $ign for Nyanka.
Drake released a few singles this year. Well, he started off the year releasing Dark Lane demo tapes, which if you have followed anything related to the whole OVO camp, it really was just a tape of unreleased material and also leaked material that fans were really starting to enjoy, such as Desires with Future and When to Say When, which he also dropped a video for alongside Chicago Freestyle. The projects itself, as well as the singles that he released, Tootsie Slide, Laugh Now, Cry Later, although they have been pretty stagnant and they weren't really sticking with people, as I would say, like a normal Drake record or single would. One thing about Drake that has really shown itself this year, and especially last year when he didn't release much material at all outside of No Guidance with Chris Brown, is that regardless of the material that he releases or the level of connection it has with the audience, the one thing about Drake is that he does have staying power. His name has remained relevant this year. People have brought him up, like Thugger just brought him up recently on a topic about once you reach Drake level, where else can you go? And I think that really shows his bar. Once you reach his level, there really is nowhere to go. So he's remained relevant and causing waves throughout music as he always had.
Drake, I agree with Kia's points. Laugh Now, Cry Later actually did a lot better than what a lot of us had anticipated. Because Laugh Now, Cry Later kind of stayed at number 2 for a couple of weeks. And like, it's just interesting. Like Drake is still receiving success and he's like pacing, like stagnating his singles. If stagnating a word? Is stagnating a word?
It is now.
Yes, it is. Stagnating, yes.
We were supposed to have another panelist tonight, but she couldn't make it, unfortunately. That would have really went in on this conversation. It was Kia for Scary Hours 2 with Drake. Did y'all listen to the EP? What were your thoughts?
Well, I must say I'm a casual Drake fan. So I don't know I'm not the biggest Drake guy. But I would say this, he was the co-star on, and I love how you categorized it, because Lil Baby's verse was better and Rick Ross's was better. And Drake is a genius of really capturing moments. He really made a transition that's crazy when he first came, being the first streaming rapper to really get the success from streaming, and he went right into TikTok. He made a TikTok dance song. So now I see him not as just an MC, but really he is the ultimate standard for pop. But he still can spit and all that. But I think he really threw the alley oop to Lil Baby and Rick Ross on these.
Oh, I wanted to say I mentioned earlier that our January episode had that Lil Baby era discussion. It happened because of a conversation that happened with Charlemagne and Wayno, I think it was. And they were saying that we are no longer in the era of Drake, we are in the era of Lil Baby. Lil Baby. I think that Lil Baby is setting the tone for Pacemaker of January because his name is being brought up a lot in a lot of hip hop discussions. And what really rung out to me is Charlemagne the God saying, we are no longer in the Drake era, but we are in the Lil Baby era. He's out of all the rap artists, he's been consistent with the streaming. I mean, he's been under Pop Smoke, but he's still the main like trap rapper that is having success on the streaming charts. On Me is doing pretty well right now, and it's still rising up the charts. To be honest, I wanted to bring Lil Baby up in the rebuttal because I've been really trying to think, is it really the era of Drake? I'm sorry to throw my artist under the bus a little bit, but I want to kind of discuss, hip hop viewing Lil Baby as it being his era. Are we in the era of Lil Baby?
I feel like when I hear like the era of Drake, I think Drake obviously had transcended just like hip hop conversations. I'm a pop girl. I don't know how much Lil Baby is being mentioned. I know like he had his Rolling Stone cover and all of that was happening for him, and that's great. But I know I don't hear his name come up a lot in just like people outside of the hip hop conversations. And that's just my assumption. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like we don't have him on like a hit with like a pop girl in like a way that you would expect. Obviously like Drake was on Rihanna's hits left and right, for better or worse, but I just think that for me, I think it could happen. I just don't know if it's comparable to somebody like Drake, who essentially was a hip hop star who functioned as a pop star.
And that's the same thing. I would definitely agree. I'm more of a hip hop girl, so I would hear more of these conversations. And Lil Baby is definitely being mentioned. He's definitely always one of the people who, of my era, the greats. He's always one of the newer artists that is name dropped as one to watch for, or somebody that they're listening to. Lil Baby is definitely always mentioned in conversations about newer artists who are still focused on lyrics or do lyrical songs that do hit on the radio, but doesn't stay away from that lyrical content or being heavier on the I actually rap side. But I do agree that it could happen. He's not there yet, but I don't see it as something that he definitely has the potential to become hip hop's next biggest superstar. Timing does have a lot to do with it, as the mainstream, as far as critics, media, and fans, mainstream hip hop is kind of moving away from that coastal bias. It's time for somebody from the South to be on top, and not just in America, not just in the United States, but globally. Lil Baby definitely has that potential. His music has that appeal, and he has the star power. Like you said, what we don't have is that crossover hit. We don't have Lil Baby on a pop song. We don't have Lil Baby on a reggaeton song. We don't have Lil Baby on a blues song. We just have Lil Baby rapping his little butt off, which he's great at. But for Lil Baby to have this era that everybody is putting on his shoulders, for him to reach those heights, he has to just do more outside of rap. And that's not necessarily to say I need Lil Baby to be doing TikTok dances and partner with Fashion Nova and dropping off little verses on everybody's song. That's more so to say him still moving consciously as an artist that knows what he wants to do and the type of music that he wants to make, but making more of an effort to reach a broader audience and have a larger impact than just hip hop fans.
I think the potential is also there when you think about like his performances during like award show seasons. Like his performances actually were memorable, actually did stand out, and were engaging. Not like I was watching the performance, but I was also watching my Twitter timeline. Like it was like really like, oh, I'm going to sit here and pay attention to what he's doing. And I think that's so important right now when it's like, you know, it's so easy to be distracted by this is coming out, this person's doing that. But like to actually be able to keep people's attention and invest in your artistry is like really going to take him far.
I would definitely have to agree with both of you all on Lil Baby. I do think he is poised for greater heights and greater success. But I definitely don't think he's there yet. I don't think we have entered the era of Lil Baby quite yet. And if we're like comparing to Drake in a sense, I feel like he is still like in those early Drake years of success. Like what Drake has become, truthfully, I feel like maybe Hotline Bling might have really shifted everything for him and taken him to the next level. I might be wrong on that, but it had been like years and a lot of hits before we'd even gotten anything close to anything from Nothing Was the Same. And I also feel like arguably Megan Thee Stallion could have had a better year than Lil Baby last year. And so I feel like if there's any arguable case that someone can quote unquote beat you, there's no way we have entered the era of Lil Baby quite yet.
I definitely agree with what everyone has said so far, but I will go as far as to say that maybe when we talk about the era of Lil Baby, where I'm sort of thinking like, when I look at like the streets per se, or just like what people are talking about and really gravitating towards, it's Lil Baby, right? I feel like Drake isn't really running the streets in a way that he was a couple years ago because he's so big and he's so pop that like, that I think in that sense, the era has shifted for sure. Probably shifted a while back, to be honest. Maybe even around Yes Indeed would probably be like the passing of the torch, I would say, between those two. But I think in that sense, we have shifted to their Lil Baby. In terms of like Lil Baby being like a Drake level pop star, we're far from that. But I think there's multiple ways to interpret that.
Before we transition, I did want to bring this up because I saw it floating across the timeline. Lil Baby said it would be him, Roddy Ricch, Megan Thee Stallion, and DaBaby that would still quote unquote be on top or be like household names still in a decade. And so I guess I wanted to hear if everyone agreed with those names. I feel like of everyone that we're seeing today, nobody's a bad bet out of that crop.
I was gonna say that sounds like a pretty good set of people, I would say, especially like given, you know, it definitely depends. I don't know. I think DaBaby is, you know, on a little bit of a probational period right now. He's, you know, acting up quite a bit and the music's not, you know, making up for the shenanigans, not making it worth it. But I think definitely Roddy Ricch, I think we haven't even seen like the, you know, 30% of what he can do. And I think he was also so like left out of end of the year conversations for like what he actually managed to get done in 2020. He was the only concert I went to in 2020, NYU. We had him for our Violet like homecoming, whatever thing. And it was the only concert I went to was him and Chief Keef, which was just such a night. I wanted to go home, but you know, I think, you know, he's such a good live performer and, you know, he obviously didn't get to show that to anybody given the circumstances of the year, but I think he's definitely somebody that we're going to be talking about. And then Megan is just like a given just because she's already got her foot in music and now all these other, you know, areas where she's just not going to go anywhere.
I agree. I think that's a solid list, but I would like to know if he was limited to like a certain number of people, because there are other names that I would add, not more so above those artists, but I don't think it will just be them in 10 years. I think we'll still be hearing from a few people in 10 years that recently emerged. So I don't know if he just was speaking because the group sounds like mainstream hip hop artists who are rappers who are loyal to their regional sounds. So I don't know if there were any like specific parameters that he was going for when he dropped that list, but I will add a few other names to it.
It sounds like his friends. Like it honestly, it sounded like his industry, like rapper friends. He just wanted to name the people who he's been collaborating with. I mean, 10 years, that's a hard discussion to have with any of those names for me, I feel. I'm gonna keep it real. It's just like the crowd reaction towards them has just been super fickle. And it's like they're all like, people might say I'm crazy, but like Nicki Minaj, when she came out, we knew it was 10 years wrapped up. Like,
but see, every one of them has at least one song.
While.
Yeah, they all have at least one song that'll still be here in 10 years. Whether in 10 years they'll be still big names or not, they all have at least one song that 10 years from now still getting played at the cookout, still getting played at the club, still getting played at the graduation. And honestly, I don't know. I mean, there are some others who have released songs out, but he's right. They all have at least one. We're going to be hearing The Box forever.
Yeah. And High Fashion.
We're going to be hearing High Fashion forever. Savage Remix is going to be here forever.
Yeah.
Dang, I forget the name of the Lil Baby song. It's gonna be here forever.
I mentioned earlier that our January episode had that Lil Baby era discussion. It happened because of a conversation that happened with Charlemagne and Wayno, I think it was. And they were saying that we are no longer in the era of Drake, we are in the era of Lil Baby. I disagree with that. Like I said before, I think we're in an era of the Sweeties and Doja Cats, but you know, men in that space, they don't even consider the women like that. So if we're talking just the men, a lot of the panelists said that Drake, like Lil Baby is still not his era because Lil Baby does not have those pop moments to make it his era. And I agree with that. And then it's also kind of like, you know, if we're talking just the men and who's leading the pack, to me, that's Pop Smoke. I mean, and even now, like, I mean, we have Back in Blood nominated. Like, look at Lil Durk's run and the run that he's had. I mean, this took forever for him. Like, I remember listening to Lil Durk on Tink's Winter Diary. Like, that was my first real huge Lil Durk moment. So, yeah, I didn't nominate Drake in this. I nominated Drake in the pop category because that's how it feels to me. I think he has to rely on Lil Baby and Rick Ross for that street anthem credibility. Because you know Rick Ross is going his way into a street anthem. And then you know Lil Baby's going to eat a track up with his lyrics. So
And Drake is great at finding who's on the rise. Like Afro beats got an Afro beat song, got a TikTok song. Lil Baby's the next guy, he does that. He knows how to do those trends. That's probably why I can't really. Drake doesn't feel me. He's like how y'all feel about Bruno Mars to me.
I was just gonna say I don't know about on the rise because I guess we're just about to do like a little pivot because I'm Jamaican, like I know reggae and all of that stuff. So like popcorn been popping, like of course to us and to people that know like dancehall and things like that. But what Drake does is amplify people. He will shoot them into the stratosphere just because of his reach and who he is and his popularity and his pop visibility. So I'll say that. I don't want to necessarily say that he just introduces people to a more broader audience on a larger more accessible scale. I'll say that much about Drake when it comes to those types of artists. I believe he has done, well, not believe, but he's definitely done songs with Lil Baby before. And I think that those songs were some of the songs that people started to listen to Lil Baby a bit more and give him a bit more of a view.
I agree. Like Drake is an amplifier, and that's pretty much his role now. I do think that he is dominating the streaming numbers at this particular moment, but I think we've kind of outpassed the era of Drake. Like, I think we're in the search for who the new era is. We still consider Drake a kingpin, a living legend at this point, but I agree. Like, we're not in the era of Drake, but it's not really Lil Baby's era to me. I mean, and I like Lil Baby. I don't have no problem with Lil Baby. Like, they was clowning his fit. I'm like, the Dior star pants jeans fit by the car. Like, I rocked with it, but
he definitely hasn't reached it yet with Drake. Like, I agree with you. I think not that his time has passed, but people will still, Drake dropped, we still gonna listen to it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not necessarily like, oh yeah, he about to hit us with the like, I think Drake has reached a point where anything he does will still get some type of attention. In terms of Lil Baby, his bubble is still, it hasn't popped yet. It's still growing. So I definitely agree with you. I don't think it's his time yet either, because he hasn't had that thing that's like, oh, yes, like this is it right now.
yeah, and like he had to share, because it's funny when I look back at the conversation that I had, I'm like, oh, I should have said that. But even like what you said about Lil Baby having the moment that he hasn't had that pop moment yet to go there. Even like with Drips You Hard, which is probably his biggest hit. I mean, bigger picture chart wise, the stats look like it's a bigger hit, but I still consider Drip Too Hard to be Lil Baby's biggest hit, but that was shared with Gunna. So it's like, what do you have that's going to take you there? Like Megan Thee Stallion, she has Savage. Doja Cat now has Streets and Say So. Sweetie has Best Friend and My Type. Lil Baby don't have none of those songs. I'm sorry, he just don't. Like, he don't have the songs that the streets is rocking with and the pop world is rocking with simultaneously. I mean, I even said it. It feels more like a Da Baby era than it feels like a Lil Baby era, And people can feel whatever they want to feel, but Da Baby has been on all the songs. He is popping with Dua Lipa. More people are eyeing him. He had the little TikTok makeup girlies mad about the JoJo Siwa line. Like, it feels like more of a Da Baby era or a Pop Smoke era. But, then we think about like For the Night, which had Pop Smoke, Da Baby, and Lil Baby on it. So if the industry ain't telling us who it is, then I don't know. But yeah. And Rick Ross, like, I mean, it's expected from him. He just gonna skate on a verse. I think Lemon Pepper Freestyle is my favorite song on that EP specifically.
But when that song dropped, it was like everyone was just kind of like sat up again, like, oh, this is what a collab sounds like. This is what bars sounds like. This is what we fell in love with these three individuals for. And I think that was a moment, because even Wayne, to some extent, like, yeah, he's dropped things here and there, but he hasn't really been giving us Wayne until this year, really. So I think that song was kind of like the first, well, again, I've been inside, so asterisk everything I say, but like the first hip hop song this summer that made me just kind of like, oh, like this is why we kind of fell in love with rap and those rappers from that era. So it kind of really just shocked the system for me. And I don't know for everybody else, but then it also like made it to a lot of good lists that were put out by various publications as well. So not just sonically, not just spoken about on Twitter or by the Barbs or by OVO fans or by Wayne fans, but like all of them together as the Young Money crew kind of like brought that back into the forefront. So I really think like this song to me had a greater impact than any other song on this list. Like Range Brothers, Top of the Morning, like that's a cute meme on Twitter, but like who is going up for Range Brothers? Like DJ Khaled and Nas, cute, but like I haven't seen as much people talk about any song on this list, except for Range Brothers making fun of Kendrick, than Seeing Green that had a moment bigger than that. So that's my argument. Let it rest for now.
Can I say something against your argument?
Of course you can.
Can we say that it's fair that people only went up for it based on nostalgia because it was released on Beam Me Up Scotty and the re-release of that?
I would disagree. I think like even if it was released by itself, it would have still had that impact just because we hadn't heard Wayne spit like that really in a while. We like, again, Nicki was just, we could go into that, but I feel like even if it was just released as a single, it would have still had the moment. But I do think that that's a valid point to make.
But then I have to disagree there because I feel like hip hop this year, I think this was one of the first years in a while where it wasn't about creating a moment necessarily. It was really just about who's actually out here bodying shit, who's actually out here really rapping, which is why like a lot of like, I hate saying real hip hop is because that's not what it is at all. But why a lot of people who are tuned into hip hop, like Hellcats and Trackhawks, that was a huge hit this summer with Dirt and OTF. Like that to me was bigger and more influential than Seeing Green. Like I think the impact of Wayne, Drake, and Nicki is always going to get the streets talking because of how big figures they are. Wayne has been consistently doing shit for like the last year. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like over the last like year or so, he's actually been really stepping it up when it comes to his features. So I wasn't surprised to hear him on there like really spazzing. Drake, as far as him, I mean, Drake is always going to create a moment, i.e. Certified Lover Boy, whenever we get to that topic. And then Nicki also the same. I mean, obviously she got the White House talking about her in like press conferences. So I understand what they symbolize and what they represent, but there comes a certain point and when you're discussing like music and specifically hip hop, where it's like, I have to see past the moment. It was a moment, but what did the song really do? Was that an actual great collaboration? Did I really feel like that really moved me and moved the streets? No, there's other songs that can be named that did more. Honestly, I could say Pride is the Devil by J. Cole and Baby was a better song than Seeing Green. So, you know, like.
So here's the two things. One, is anybody on this list beating them as the reason for the topic? And the reason for the topic is not who moved the streets. The reason for the topic is best rap collab. And these are the nominations. So like, I get your point about, there being better collabs, because obviously there are, right? But let's keep it in frame that we're arguing about these people and who had the bigger moment between them for a collab.
I don't think anybody on the list did, though. That's the thing. I don't think anyone on the list did.
And I agree, but we gotta argue it because Deshaun making us argue it. So I'm gonna stick beside Seeing Green. I'm gonna stick beside her.
What did y'all think about My Life with J. Cole and 21 Savage? Because I listened to that earlier today, and like a lot of these songs, like, it is the chart tangent report, so I'm kind of like doing my duty and being like, these are the songs that are charting. But honestly, like, I was underwhelmed by that too.
Yeah, A Lot is the better song with that. I can't even listen to that one because A Lot is right there. I'd rather listen to that one.
Yeah, like yeah, William, what do you think? Because J. Cole is your artist, and you said that's like your GOAT, your living GOAT right now. So I want to know your opinion on My Life, because
I mean, if we okay, so I'll address My Life and also this list. A lot of these songs, while I was muted, I had to play because they were very much like songs that I listened to and I didn't go back to again, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you. My Life, clearly, I knew it because, it's J. Cole, so I was fucking with it. But I don't feel like this is one of his best songs. I feel like it's a song that I would listen to a passing. I'm not gonna turn it off, but I'm not necessarily gonna be like, oh shit, turn it up. Like, it's like, it is what it is. Um, I feel like in this list, I absolutely do agree with what Kia said wholeheartedly. But if I would have to pick a specific song, it would have to be Seeing Green. Only because when I look at this list, like I said, I had to listen to Seeing Green too. I'm not gonna hold you when you're talking, but Seeing Green had a moment that the rest of these songs didn't. Like Type Shit, Migos and Cardi. Their moment was when Cardi popped out pregnant. Like other than that, it really wasn't doing nothing.
That's
So
what I'm saying. It's like these songs are just
they're there. Like I said, I'm not. If you put on Type Shit, I'm not gonna turn it off. Seeing Green, come on, I'm not gonna turn it off. You know, but I'm not going to go out of my way like, yo, put this on. Like it ain't finna happen to me. You know.
Could you put on Range Brothers?
Absolutely.
Like, who the hell is
Putting
saying
it
that?
So the reason why I nominated Range Brothers, and this is funny because we have these street conversations. I was at a fashion show for New York Fashion Week. It was an underground fashion show. It wasn't an official one. It was one that was happening in Brooklyn with a Black designer and with a Black audience. And he played, that was the song that he chose for his models to walk down to. And it was popping at first. It like the first minute and a half, it was going off, right? And when it got to the top of the morning part, everyone got dead. And I was wasted. So I was acting a fool because I was like trying to like just, be messy, just like do some investigating at that point because, it was the topic. Everybody was dead during that part. Like I have video footage, I'm not lying. And if I have to edit in the video footage to show Punch TDE what is up, then I will.
I feel like that song is not bad until you get to the top of the morning part. But then the top of the morning part is the part that's viral right now. That's the thing that everybody's dancing to. Like the song is great. Keem's verse is great. Kendrick's verse after the top of the morning part is all right. It's just that one section, but that section is the most like everyone's doing it right now. Like everyone's doing it right now. It is the moment right now.
I really didn't know it was a real song. Like wholeheartedly, I really thought it was just like one of these social media bots, just like get on and get up. Like I really did not know it was a real song, to be 100 with you.
It is arguably Baby Keem's one of his best verse on that entire project. That's the crazy part about the whole thing.
I think it says a lot that 7-time repeated phrase has outshone both of those verses. And that's all I'm gonna say. Like that's
I have a question. Why wasn't Back in Blood nominated?
Oh, Back in Blood wasn't nominated because I had Back in Blood nominated for the February panel. So Back in Blood with Pooh Shiesty and Lil Durk. I never heard of Pooh Shiesty until I keep seeing Pooh Shiesty, that's my dog. Any thoughts on him and what his future is going to be like?
And I'm just coming into familiarity with him probably the last 2 weeks, because it was trending. It was a beef trending.
Okay, so Pooh Shiesty must be beefing with Kodak Black as of 4 days ago.
There you go.
And you know what? Ooh, now that you brought that up, what's interesting is Back in Blood is nominated in this category, but so is Beatbox. And Trey Alston wrote about Beatbox for Paper Magazine, and he said that Beatbox is very reminiscent of Kodak Black. And then I said in the January episode, it's interesting seeing Beatbox blow up because like Beatbox is like a track star. Like it was released a while ago. Beatbox was released in April of last year. And it's like, that song came out at a time when Kodak Black was locked up. So it's like, we don't have Kodak Black anymore, the hit maker. So, let's lean on this. And I also said, it sounds like Playboy Cardi to me as well. The ad libs in the background, there's like that spastic kind of like I'm an ad lib, yeah, like that kind of stuff. So it's interesting because beatbox is the song right now that all the rappers are remixing. Like we've gotten a DaBaby remix, we've gotten a Pooh Shiesty remix, and we got a Mulatto remix. And I'm like, who's next? Like, who's going to take the mic next? So beatbox is definitely probably the hottest like trending song on this list. And I had it nominated for Best Street Anthem and it lost. There is a minute and 45 seconds left. Does anyone have anything else that they feel like they need to bring to the table? I'm just going to say it one more time. Pooh Shiesty, that's my dog. I love that line. So I love the video of them being in the club, in a packed pandemic club, and it's just like, Pooh Shiesty, that's my dog. And Lil Durk is like,
I'm mad his name is Pooh.
He kind of looks like Winnie the Pooh Bear a little bit. Like he's got that Pooh Bear face. I wonder if that's why they call him that.
Maybe.
I wonder if that's why he got a cute little baby face. Okay, please send me your final vote.
Like, I was about to say, I don't even know what he looked like, to be quite honest with you. I'm Googling him.
He looks like a Winnie the Pooh. I was thinking that too. I was like, oh, okay.
All right, we got 30 seconds. Sorry. All right. Danny.
Lord.
Okay, there's a tie. We're gonna log off and I will break the tie.
Okay.
Oh.
I am upset that I Googled this man and I looked at his images, and I don't know if it's because y'all said it or because he really does look like Winnie the Pooh. But now I cannot get the comparison image out of my head.
Ain't no way in hell that his family they called him Pooh Bear all his life. They had to.
That's probably why his rap name is that. Like I have to look more into him because he's another one who kind of blew up from out of nowhere. But Pooh Shiesty kind of looked like Winnie the Pooh Bear. And I was looking at him like, use a blood Winnie the Pooh Bear. Alleged blood. Because we're not going to incriminate no people on the Charts Agent Report. Especially after what I witnessed today. I was like, you know what? And you know the crazy thing about what I witnessed today? A building had 222 above there. And I was like, this done took everything I thought I ever knew about numerology and the spirit guides away from me. Maybe the spirit angels were protecting me when I saw that couple duck and hide their child. And, maybe they was protecting me. It wasn't protecting them other ones. But I was just like, what in the world? Yeah, and that's crazy too. Like, why are y'all making music that's just so explicitly like saying like,
why y'all got guns in the videos knowing that damn well they is illegal?
Bruh,
I don't get it.
Crazy as hell. All hell.
I don't get it, but I like Back in Blood is an interesting song to me because it's, for traditional hip hop fans, they ain't gonna rock with it. But I love it. It's current.
I turn that shit off so fast.
Like I know the song, like if you will play it, I would hear it, but just off of us having this conversation right now, I can't tell you what the hell it is.
It's rising up the charts. It's like number 13 this week. Well, in the Hot 100. And probably higher in the Billboard one. I mean, the Rolling Stone one, because the Rolling Stone one don't even count radio. So it's just straight up what's being consumed, streamed the most, and bought the most. So
that's 13 on the Hot 100?
I think so, yes.
Wow.
Yes, Back in Blood is it's number one trending on YouTube like every day. Like they love Back in Blood.
Social media is a hell of a drug dealer.
I think it just be too like we gotta think about the demographics that consume their music through YouTube. I have been on a few dates with these people in my past life. And YouTube just starts playing in the background and all these songs start running. And by the time, I'm not going to get into it, but
And here's what's crazy. On YouTube, it has nearly 80 million views.
Mm-hmm. And it did peak as we're filming today on March 12th. It peaked at number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100. It's going to keep rising.
Yeah.
That might be our next number one song that we're trying to get to be number one for the community and the culture. Like, we don't even care for the song being hot, but we like, oh, Pooh Shiesty could be number one on the Hot 100? Like, let's do it. So the tie is between Lemon Pepper Freestyle by Rick Ross and Beatbox by Spot Got 'em. So now what I'm going to do before breaking the tie is, does anyone want to offer any last minute rebuttals for either song? Actually, you know what's interesting? I think the Groves voted. Briz voted for Beatbox and Rashad voted for Lemon Pepper Freestyle. So I'm gonna jump to y'all because it's funny that y'all live in the same household and you have kids.
We talked during the break. I was like, who'd you vote for? Who said, we're a Rick Ross family here.
A Rick Ross family here. It's interesting because Rick Ross is that old guard and Spottum is that new guard.
He was a guard, all right.
Briz, why did you vote for Spottum Got 'em's Beatbox?
Because I got my finger on the pulse, Rashad is an old man, as he stated in the beginning of this Zoom meeting. Me, myself, I'm quite the young woman, even though we are the same age. And I monitor our daughter's TikTok consumption, and this is the jam for me. All whatever the June bug is, I love that. And plus, like you said, people are freestyling over the track. So, so other MCs, they respect it. And I think Rick Ross, even though he's going to skate on the verse, there's only so much jooby doobies I can take. So I'm with the June bug and the beatbox and the shoot your dreads off. I'm with all that. I'm with all that tonight.
But after that, I'll defer. I'll gracefully bow out. Try to catch some of these young vibes. Shooby Dooby after that. Rick Ross can't win after Shooby Dooby.
She won off of that alone. Off of that alone, she won. She won for that, man. She took it.
She didn't even try.
That was a dunk. He dunked on me on that one.
Ain't that how he sound though?
Oh, I can't even listen to it no more.
Oh my gosh.
I was going to say, I have heard Lemon Pepper Freestyle in a couple of cars passing by this week. And Lemon Pepper Freestyle is my favorite off of Scary Hours 2. But Briz made a great point. The street anthem right now is definitely Beatbox. I mean, once all these different rappers start getting on it and everyone's comparing verses and the OG who made the song can just sit back and be on the charts by himself, I mean, I have to give it to Spottum Got 'em. And he was a nominee last month, but he has made it. So Beatbox is definitely the street anthem right now. It lost to Beatbox.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Who argued that, by the way?
We didn't have the team formats because we had panelists that kind of like didn't really want to do the team discussion. So I tried to argue for it. Like, the views was up on whatever, it was up on YouTube, but like Beatbox won. It beat it out. But yes, I do have that nominated. But you know, that's why we have the lightning rounds and the suggestions, because that's when y'all get to take the court. So, but you know, Back in Blood, that's a good question. Like Back in Blood stayed for, and you know, when I was making the nominations, I was really considering to nominate
And why wasn't
that.
Ski nominated?
What was nominated?
Ski with Gunna and Young Thug. I was
honestly, because I ain't listen to that shit. I don't hear it. I don't see it. Hey.
I hear it and I see it all the time. That shit goes the fuck up.
Well, we have the
Outside.
lightning rounds.
Yeah, we ain't been outside like you, girl.
But see, but that's what, like, if we talk about chart tangent stuff, it's on the charts. It's right there. It's streaming. Like, that album was popular. Those artists are popular. Why wasn't that nominated?
Well, that's why we have the lightning rounds for you to put your suggestions up there. But I mean, I didn't nominate it. I looked at it, I saw it, but I just didn't. I don't know. I felt like these collaborations were just talked about more. Like they just had more internet traction, more stuff. But
interesting. Interesting.
As far as type shit goes, with Migos and Cardi, I mean, Cardi made that song with her verse. I see everyone talking about Cardi. That's the part that goes up. So with that being said, we're gonna do the final votes. You could send in your vote to the DM. You can send it privately to me. Kia is so mad.
Yeah, because how do you make a best rap collaboration list and you don't include that? Those two songs, like specifically.
Ski though, but why didn't you say Ski?
Absolutely Ski.
Why didn't you say that when we asked earlier for the suggested songs?
I'm high as shit right now, to be very honest with you. So no, I'm not thinking off something off top like of the rip. But
that's
as I'm sitting here, like,
hold on, but that's my whole thing though.
That's not the whole thing though. That's
but
not
that
the
is
whole
the
thing.
Whole thing.
But that's not the whole thing at all.
It is not. Because if a song is popping like that,
I literally just said. I literally just said that I've been currently listening to a lot of London R&B. So that's really where my focus is. On top of that, baby, I work a 9 to 5 on top of doing other little things, and I smoke my weed. So no, off the top of my brain, I'm not going to have an Apple playlist ready for you. I'm sorry, I'm not. But as we're talking and we're conjuring up things and I'm starting to rack my brain, I'm sitting here, I'm like, wait, why wasn't Ski? Why wasn't this? Why wasn't that? Like songs are starting to pop up as the conversation is starting to escalate, because now like my brain is starting to move in and I'm really thinking, I'm like, okay, rap collaborations. Like I'm actually sitting here and really starting to think like, what have I been hearing while I've been out? What have I been hearing if I'm at a concert, in a club? What really is going up? What are people really talking about that I'm personally seeing? And that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm hearing. That's what's going on. That's what people are talking about.
But
like you can drop Ski somewhere and it goes off. So,
but that's why I have the Sorry for the Snub Award, where you can correct me during that section and you can suggest
then in that case, I will be correcting you on a lot, because these whole categories are gonna suck based off what's mainstream.
It's a chart report though. That's what mainstream is. And you know, like I said, like I've just been like listening to smaller artists. So like a lot of this stuff, like I have not even played more than once, if even, and that's because I got the list of songs from him, right? Like that's just the chart report. Like if my list would be like West Indian people and like London people and like small artists I listen to, but like yeah, I would never even thought Ski, to be honest. But again, like I've been inside and not going out, so there's that too.
I just think that maybe going forward, when we're talking about these lists and stuff like that, I get the point of it, but if the whole argument for everything is going to be, well, it created a moment, well, it went viral, well, people were talking about it on social
media. But to me, like Ski has not been in, but Ski has not been in my section of the, like, it's interesting the songs that you're bringing up, and it's interesting the songs that I'm bringing up, because it's like we had different summers. Everyone has had different summers. And like, I have not encountered Ski being viral for anything. I'm just going to keep it real. Like, I'm still hearing shit like like people are still running up Go Crazy with Chris Brown and Young Thug even more. And I had that nominated in February as well. So it's like, for me, like that just wasn't in my neck of the woods. And when I looked at the charts, like it wasn't really, it was doing things, but it really wasn't doing anything on really the hip hop and R&B charts, the rap charts, nothing. Like Young Thug has more songs that are doing better than I feel than Ski. Ski hasn't had his moment yet. Like, I think it hasn't had its moment yet. Like, I have not seen or heard it or anything. And I be like everywhere, like it's like everywhere, like literally. So I don't know. I just haven't seen it yet. But that's what the Sorry for the Snub Award is for. That's what all my suggested, when you guys can suggest your songs and what you feel, like that's why I created that moment for that. But, you know, you would have been one of the people online cursing out the Chart Tangent Report nominee. I'm crying. Okay. Interestingly enough, though, Kia, we need your vote.
She done got rid of the whole board. She ain't trying to vote.
All right. Do y'all want to know who the winner is?
This 666 series is not over, but congratulations viewers, lurkers, and players. You've completed the first session of the Chart Tangent Report. Stay tuned for more.
A bonus episode and level has been unlocked. Incoming, the Mainstream FMCs Part 3. Nikki wins again.